Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome.
Oh,
I am Lorena Mosquera with Paradigm, and we're here with Homeless Solutions. We are live. Wendy, Dan, just doing mic check. Can you guys hear us?
hey, Lorena. We're actually having problems with hearing you. Here we go again, right?
Okay, can you
It's
hear
in
me at
that
all
slow
or no?
motion mode that we tried to work through during our chat.
Gotcha.
But anyway, we'll try to work through it.
We're freezing, but we're not freezing that much.
Yeah.
So, for those of you that are just watching us, I apologize for the delay. There is a little bit of a technical difficulty here that we thought we had worked out, but hopefully they will catch up with us. We are here for the
I'll tell
second
you what, I'm going to
annual
step back. Can you guys?
Night in the Cold. We're going to be kicking it off right now. For many of the people watching right now, you know that we are going to be outside, and what we're going to do is we're going to pause this broadcast for just a couple of seconds. We want to make sure that we can get folks to hear us. So hang on tight. Let me see if I can get them back on. Hold on.
You know what? I'm actually not sure what you said, Lorena, because we can't really hear you. But maybe Dan can talk a little bit about what inspired A Night in the Cold.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
So we are blessed with an incredible community of supporters, and throughout our history have had these sort of different engagement activities where our community can come together, bring their passion into one day or night, and as well share what we do with their friends and raise money. But the Night in the Cold is, to me, a great way to really be able to relate much more closely with that activity to the mission of the organization, and we felt that very much so last year when we did our first Night in the Cold.
Yeah. And the other thing we wanted to hear from Dan, I don't know, Lena, you want to try to ask something?
I'm going to see if you can hear me now without your. Can you hear me on your speakerphone?
I can hear you on my phone, so.
Okay, you want to ask us something? No, you know what? It's okay. We're gonna hang up. I think I'm just gonna ask Dan the questions because I know what I want, what we want to talk about. So we'll just go with that. So Dan, can you tell us a little bit about your experience from last year? I know it was very humbling, you said, and I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about, I don't know, the ways it impacted you.
Yeah. Well, for one thing, it was a hard night for the people who came back again this year. There were winds, 30, 40 mile an hour wind gusts, and it was incredibly cold and hard to sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep did not come easily. And I think we're going to have about the same temperatures, but thankfully, no wind and no precipitation. So that's one thing. I do think that I've been wondering these last couple of days whether knowing what to expect is better or worse than not knowing what to expect, because I've been dreading the cold night. I'm already looking forward to putting on another layer and getting in my sleeping bag. But the other thing was, as I said before, it made me think. I know it made a lot of our other supporters who slept out think about what it might be like for somebody to have to sleep in their car or be out on the street, and why the work we do is so important.
And I also remember too, last year, what I found interesting was, I think you thought you'd have all this time to kind of self-reflect in the quiet, but actually you spent most of your time like just trying to get warm.
Yeah.
And you couldn't think. And then we both were talking about, well, what if you had to work the next day? Like, how do you function when you really haven't slept and you're not refueled, and and all of
And
those
your body
things.
aches and you're literally dizzy from an hour and a half of bad sleep. Absolutely.
And you're sort of almost pretending, right, that you didn't sleep in a car or a tent or something. And
Right.
as many of the people in our programs were private before they got to us, but the lives that they kind of led too.
Yeah.
Let me see what else we want to talk about.
I'm going to try it again. Can you hear me at all or no?
So the rain is in our ear, but it's slow motion and it sounds really.
That's how I'm going to feel by about 4 a.m, so that's okay.
So we're going to just try to work with this here, but we also want to give a shout out to our committee and our sponsors. And I know, Dan, I have the list right here.
I will absolutely take advantage of that list. So all of our events throughout the year rely on an incredible committee members who help us think through the agenda, plan the details, bring supporters to the table, and we want to give them the shout out. So Mary Capella, Jeremy Gulish, Dan Jago, Dorothy Kalau, Brandon Casper, Don Sample, and Steve Schroeder. And I know you're all sleeping out tonight, so I hope you guys are prepared and ready to go. We really appreciate all your work. And we're also very grateful for some of our event sponsors. And I know some of them are joining us out for a night in the cold tonight too. And that includes Valley Bank, M&T Bank, and PwC. We really appreciate your support of this important event.
Yes. And we have to give a shout out to our fundraisers. You guys are, I was going to say kicking, you know what? I didn't know if I should say that, but you guys are doing so great. And I have my little list here so I can give a shout out to some of our top fundraisers. George Goldman, man, he's at, I mean, I printed this a few hours ago, so it's probably more than that now.
Good job, George.
But he's almost at $16,000, which we know that there's a friendly competition between Dan and George.
George is our fantastic board chair, but the good news is he's our top fundraiser. The bad news is I'm going to have to hear it from him all year long, but exactly. It'll be worth it.
Exactly. And then Ryan Spencer, also on our board, he's almost at 10,000.
Great job, Ryan.
Yeah, and Dan is doing great too, though. He's getting up there with 9,000, a little over 9,000. Dan Jago, thank you so much. Steve Schroeder, Tamala, they're our top 6. Tamala's our volunteer manager. And I don't know, she posted a great video. She's actually on vacation in Denver, Colorado, and sleeping outside. So even on her vacation, she cares about this mission, and we love that. And we have some awesome teams. We actually have 31 teams this year, more than last year. And so the top teams, I hope I say this right, the Helene's, almost at $9,400. Team Hampshire, Canoerum Knights, we got Valley Bank, Team Sleepers, Keller Williams, and Jeremy Gulish. Jeremy Gulish actually has 3 teams, if you can believe that. But yay, the Gulishes.
Does he have to sleep out for 3 nights?
Yes, 3 nights, exactly. And then Team Sakali and Manning. So we have our Chief Development Officer has her team. And then also Wes Gaynor has his team, Brothers Lifting a Community, also raising lots of money. So
thanks,
they're our
Wes.
top teams. And then I guess the last thing I want to say is to share some tips with you. Sorry, I'm getting some information from behind the scenes here. I have the team donate search. Oh, okay. So look on the banner. So you can use that to help find a team. Oh, there it is. If you want to support anybody, you're already doing what you can do. But if you want to share that with your friends, please do. Anybody watching. And then lastly, it's cold out, you guys. I know you know that. So we just have some tips on how to stay warm. Some things you could do. Layer up, obviously. Maybe some jumping jacks, but not too many because you don't want to sweat. Have some dry socks. And then also like on the ground, if you don't want to sleep directly on the ground, maybe find some blankets. So that would help.
Yep. Hydrate, but do not drink alcohol. It might seem tempting and might think you're warming yourself up, but it's actually bad. It's good. Your core body heat's going to dissipate faster if you've got alcohol. So stay away from the alcohol.
Yes. So I think we covered everything. I'm not sure, but again, we want to hear from you. We're so excited for you to be here tonight. We have over 130 people participating. So please post away. We want to hear from you. And sorry, Ashley's telling me something. Oh yes, of course. And tag us on social media. And the most important thing is to use our hashtag HSI Night in the Cold. That's the most important thing. That's the best way for us to find out wherever you're posting us. You use that hashtag and we can find you. Oh, see, it's up there on your screen now. Anything else? Okay, and I'm being reminded to share with you our success from last year. Last year was a tough year with COVID, but we were able to help over 500 people. So, which was unusual. We actually normally help more, but I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, this is, it's December, which means we're coming to the end of the calendar year, which is also the end of our budget year. So this is a significant opportunity for us to basically meet the funding needs for all the programs that we run throughout the year. And as Wendy said, probably over 500 people this year, and typically over 700 people in our shelter, our transitional housing program, our outreach, our winter warming center, which is about to come into season and keep people off the street. So this is what tonight is what makes it possible. So thank you all very much.
Yeah. And so next you're going to get to hear from Anthony. He is a gentleman that is currently in our shelter program. And sadly, before that, he was street homeless. I was very fortunate that I got to meet with him and hear his story. A remarkable guy. So we're going to tee up the video for you. It's brief. It doesn't cover half of what we talked about, but one of the things that really moved me, there were two stories that you won't hear about, but it just kind of struck me. But he shared that like sometimes if he got $1, he would go to the dollar store and buy one of those little sternos and use that to like cook his food and kind of keep warm. Actually I get a little sad thinking about it. So I will never look at a sterno again the same. And then the other part that was hard to hear about is, when you're street homeless, you don't, you still have your humanity, right? And he wanted to not look like he was homeless, and he wanted to be clean, and he wanted to have his hygiene, but he didn't have access to showers or things. So he lived near a stream, and he would, go bathe in a stream, and, imagine bathing in a stream in this weather. So it was, that was hard for him. And hearing about that was hard too. So the good news is he's thriving now, and he's doing really great, and you'll hear from him. Before we do that, I feel like there's another thing I need to know in the background here. Okay, and then our next live moment is at 9:30. We'll be with Stephanie Sicali and her brother, who is a first responder, and he will share his perspective, and then also her daughter Natalie, who brought us the TikTok video. So I think that's it for now. So we're going to count down to the video. Thank you for your patience with our technology.
Thanks, everybody.
But thank you for being here. We'll see you again at 9:30, and in 3, 2, 1.
My name is Anthony. I had run into a problem with bills or financial trouble. Things just, one problem after another. I couldn't get out of it. So I ended up losing my home, sleeping in my car. After sleeping in the car, things got so bad as far as financial that I did have to sell the car. It is very scary living out on the streets. You don't know the people that are around you, and when you do sleep outside, of course you are worried about maybe waking up and what little belongings you have may be gone. And trying to stay warm is impossible. To stay warm in the winter, the first thing that I would do is, if I could find more than one blanket, is wrap my feet up to keep my feet warm, because that was the first thing that would normally get very cold. And trying to find maybe a piece of cardboard that you could lay on, so you're not laying on the cold ground. Even having it's come to the point that if you were with someone that also is homeless, you would have to, lay next to them so that you guys can all stay kind of warm. You do try to keep clean. You do try to keep your hygiene as best you can. And in the winter, I went and found a creek. The water is very cold to take a bath in. And being out in public, of course, you're worried about someone is seeing you. It really does something to you personally, that you have to go to that extreme. Having to sleep outdoors, wondering where your next meal is going to come from, is a very hopeless situation. And I found that there's nothing worse than having no hope. My first night here, I actually got a chance to lay in a bed and have a roof over my head and have a hot meal. I am so grateful for the resources that are available here, the help. So if there are donors and volunteers out there, there are no words that I could say to thank you enough for not only helping me, but for all the people that you're helping.
Again, I'm Lorena. Thank you all for joining us for the kickoff for tonight's event. We are so happy that you are joining us virtually. And if you are actually taking part in the event, Anthony's story is a reminder of why this event is taking place again tonight. So we are going to be back here tonight at about 9:30 p.m. Please make sure you join us. Thank you again for staying tuned. And please be sure to tag us on all your pictures. We want to make sure we see all those pictures, videos, and everything so that we can make sure we thank you for all the work that you're doing out there tonight. Stay warm, and remember, it's okay if you need to go back inside. We don't need anyone getting sick or ill during this. It's all about making sure that we're just bringing awareness to the topic. We look forward to seeing you at 9:30, and we'll touch base then. Take care.